A high school chemistry teacher gets diagnosed with terminal cancer. No savings. A family he can't provide for. So he does the only rational thing. He starts cooking methamphetamine. On paper, that's the premise of a black comedy. Maybe even a feel-good underdog story. But Breaking Bad isn't about a man who builds a drug empire. It's about a man who destroys everything he was and convinces himself it was someone else's fault. What kind of show is Breaking Bad, actually? Because it's not what you think it is. Breaking Bad sells itself as a transformation story. A good man who becomes bad under pressure. But that reading lets Walt off the hook. The show is really a surgical study in how ego destroys everything it touches, disguised as a crime thriller. 5 segments. The genre, DNA. What Walt actually is, why we rooted for a monster, how the structure hid what it was doing, and what it all means. You already know how it ends. By the end of this video, you'll understand why it couldn't have ended any other way. Breaking Bad ran 5 seasons on AMC from 2008 to 2013. Vince Gilligan, a veteran X-Files writer, pitched it with one line: turning Mr. Chips into Scarface. The finale drew over 10 million viewers and swept the Emmys. But season 1 averaged around 1 million. The show almost got canceled before anyone saw what it was becoming. Unlike most American TV, Breaking Bad was designed with an ending in mind from the start. Every action has permanent consequences for the next. That's rare, and it changes everything about how the show is built. Most people call Breaking Bad a crime drama. Some call it a tragedy. Others, a character study. All of them are right, and that's the genius. The show is deliberately hard to categorize because it keeps switching what it is underneath you. Season 1 is a black comedy. Walt and Jesse are incompetent. Things go catastrophically wrong, and there's real absurdist humor in watching a chemistry genius dissolve a body in the wrong kind of container. By season 2, the comedy drains out almost completely. By season 4, it's a psychological thriller. By the finale, it's Greek tragedy. The show shapeshifts genre while keeping the same camera and characters, and most viewers don't notice until it's already happened. What if it had stayed a dark comedy? Canceled after 2 seasons, forgotten. The genre shift is what made it dangerous, and it only works because of the character underneath it. Walter White is introduced as a man the world has chewed up and spat out. Overqualified, financially humiliated. He co-founded a company worth billions and sold his share for $5,000. He has cancer. We're supposed to root for him, and we do. The show spends the entire first season making Walt's humiliation feel like your own. But here's what it's quietly showing you at the same time. Walt has always been like this. The cancer didn't make him ruthless. It gave him permission to stop hiding it. What if Walt had accepted the money from gray matter? Treatment paid for, family provided for, not a single gram cooked. He refuses, not out of pride, but hatred. By the end, the show makes it explicit. He wasn't doing it for his family, which raises the real question: how did Gilligan make us sympathize with someone like this for 5 seasons? Breaking Bad is one of the few shows that actively manipulates you and wants you to know it, but only in retrospect. The camera consistently places you inside Walt's perspective. You root for his plans even when those plans involve poisoning a child or ordering a prison massacre. This is intentional. Walt is always given a justification just plausible enough to accept. Jesse is a liability. Jane was dangerous. Hank was closing in. Each rationalization sounds reasonable in the moment, the same way Walt sounds reasonable to himself. The show puts you inside the logic of a sociopath, so that when you finally see the full picture, you realize you've been there the entire time. Neutral camera from episode 1? You'd have seen Walt for what he was immediately and turned it off by episode 3. The complicity only works because of the structure, and the structure is more radical than most people realize. Most American TV runs on the reset principle. Things change, characters grow, but the show always returns to a stable base. Breaking Bad does the opposite. Every action permanently alters everything that follows. Jane dies, and Jesse never recovers. Hank finds the copy of Leaves of Grass, and the entire final act is set in motion. Mike is killed, and the vacuum reshapes Walt's operation completely. Nothing resets. Nothing is forgiven by the plot. You feel the consequences accumulating, the way guilt accumulates in real life. Jesse is the conscience Walt doesn't have. Without him, there's no one for the audience to hold on to. He tries to leave multiple times. Walt keeps pulling him back, not for the meth, but as a mirror. All of this builds toward a climax 5 seasons in the making. Walt returns to Albuquerque knowing he will die. He ties off every loose end. Money to his son, Jesse freed, the neo-Nazis killed. It's almost satisfying, almost heroic. Then Skyler asks him why he really did it. I did it for me. I liked it. I was good at it. And I was alive. The entire show collapses into one sentence. Not greed, not family, not desperation, ego. Walt cooked meth because it made him feel powerful in a life where he'd been made to feel small. The cancer was an excuse. The family was a cover story he told himself long enough to believe. Breaking Bad isn't a tragedy about a good man who went wrong. It's a character study about a man who was always wrong, who finally had nothing left to hide behind. The cruelest detail, his chemistry, his one genuine talent, is what kills him. A stray bullet from his own machine. Even his death is caused by the thing he was best at. Breaking Bad isn't a crime drama, a tragedy, or an anti-hero story. It's a controlled demolition. Gilligan built something that looked like a rise and fall narrative, but was actually a precise exercise in audience manipulation, making you feel the logic of a monster from the inside, so that by the time you understood what you were watching, you'd already spent 5 seasons rooting for him. What makes it remarkable isn't the plot, it's the structure, permanent consequences, genre shifts, a complicit camera, and Jesse as the moral compass the audience clings to while Walt moves out of reach. Breaking Bad knew exactly what it was from the beginning and trusted the audience to figure it out eventually. Most TV doesn't take that risk. This one did, and it's why we're still talking about it. Is Walt a tragic figure? Or did he never deserve your sympathy in the first place?